Summary of Gulliver's Travels by Jonathan Swift. Lemuel Gulliver, a married English surgeon, wants to travel. He gets a job on a ship and ends up being lost in Lilliput, where the tiny Lilliputians catch him and bring him to their king. The Lilliputians are surprised by how big Gulliver is, but they are kind to him and give him lots of food and clothes. First, Gulliver is chained to a big, empty chapel. After he gives up his weapons and signs a pledge of obedience to Lilliput, he is set free. He makes friends with the king and uses his urine to put out a fire in the house. He helps Lilliput by taking the Blefuscan's warships, for which he is given a high honor. However, the Lilliputian king's feelings toward Gulliver start to change when Gulliver refuses to help the Blefuscans become slaves. When the Blefuscans come to make peace, Gulliver makes friends with them. Soon after, an unknown man of the court tells Gulliver that the Lilliputian court is going to accuse him of treason and put out his eyes. Gulliver runs away to Blefuscu, but he ends up going back to England. Gulliver soon leaves on his next trip, but he gets stuck in the land of Brobdingnag, where the people are huge and Gulliver feels like he belongs in Lilliput. After the Brobdingnagian farmer made Gulliver put on exhausting weird shows, he was sold to the Brobdingnagian queen with the farmer's daughter and Gulliver's loving caretaker, Glundulclitch. Gulliver is well taken care of in court, but everyone laughs a lot at his physical mistakes. Gulliver tries to keep his pride but doesn't succeed very well. He offers to help the Brobdingnagian king get more powerful by using dynamite. When the king turns him down, he is surprised and thinks that the Brobdingnagians are just not as smart as humans, even though they are good people. One day, a bird on the beach steals the box Gulliver rides in when he goes out. When he is dumped in the sea, he is picked up by a human ship and taken back to England. Back among people, Gulliver is shocked by how small they are. Gulliver goes out to sea again and gets stuck. This time, the Lilliputians pick him up and take him to their floating island. He meets the Lilliputian king and sees how people live in Laputa, where everyone is so focused on abstract math, music, and astronomy theory that they have no real skills and can't even hold a conversation. Gulliver is disgusted when he goes to the city of Lagadu below and sees how the Lilliputians' ideas have hurt the people there and turned them into a broken society. He shows the projectors around the school, where they come up with useless science projects. After that, Gulliver goes to Glubbdubdrib, where he meets ghosts from the past. He then goes to Lugnag, where he meets the power-hungry Lugnagian king and the scary immortal Stroldbergs, and then he goes back to England. Gulliver goes on his fourth trip, but his crew turns against him and leaves him trapped in a land where the noble and fair horses, called Houyhnhnms, try their best to keep the foul, degenerate humans, called Yahoos, in line. Gulliver tries to stay as far away from the Yahoos and the Houyhnhnms as he can, especially his guide, the master horse. This is because Gulliver is different because he has a logical mind and clothes. The more Gulliver learns from the Houyhnhnms, the more he likes how honest, fair, and smart they are. Eventually, he turns against humans and wants to live with the Houyhnhnms forever. As he learns about the Houyhnhnms from the master horse also learns about humans from Gulliver. He comes to the conclusion that the Yahoos Gulliver came from are not that different from the dirty Yahoos among the Houyhnhnms. Gulliver is upset when the Houyhnhnms eventually tell him to go back to his own country. Even though Gulliver tries to stay away from people, Don Pedro's ship picks him up and sends him back to Europe. Back home, Gulliver is still horrified by everyone, including his own family, who is a Yahoo. He spends all his time with horses and thinks about the Houyhnhnms with desire. He ends by telling the reader that everything he has said is true and that he has only written about his trips for the general good so that the poor Yahoos around him can learn from the good people of other places.
About the author. Jonathan Swift was born in Dublin, Ireland, to a lawyer in 1667, and he went to Trinity College. He went on to work as a politician's secretary, a country parson, and a priest. All of these jobs gave him material for his satires about the political and religious rot of his society. During the short time Swift spent in England, he joined the Scribler's Club with Alexander Pope and others. They decided to write books that made fun of current knowledge. Swift's most well-known work, Gulliver's Travels, came from this decision. Swift was also a strong supporter of Irish independence from England. His second best-known work, A Modest Proposal, makes fun of the tensions between the Irish and the English. People say that Swift became angry and against people as he aged. In 1745, he died after a stroke.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.